Alright, it's here. The newest yearly installment of the Assassin's Creed series has arrived, and this time it's for next-gen consoles only. Is it good? Is it a new step into the next generation of consoles, or does it suck and do more of the same? Let's find out. Guys, I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I'm kind of an Assassin's Creed apologist. I've always defended it. I've always loved it, no matter what. I have a lot of problems with it. I can express a lot of issues with it. But sometimes just everything that's wrong with the video game industry. But at the end of the day, I like history. And I just love exploring game worlds. And I really like playing them. And I like stabbing people. And Assassin's Creed Unity is here. Now, seemingly with the exciting setting of the French Revolution and a new character, and it's on PS4 and Xbox One. And unfortunately, it's just not really, you know, up to the task. That being said, I'm not going to say it is a bad game. I do not think it is. I'm just saying that for me, as a big fan, I think I'm finally growing tired of the franchise, and I think it's starting to go a little stale. The cracks are starting to show. Last year's Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, for me, was amazing. I loved it. I put it at almost the top of my game of the year list. It was so much fun. I put like 100 hours into it. I really felt like it was like a step in a different direction for the Assassin's Creed series. The present day stuff was toned down, but really cool and really interesting and not over mind-boggling. The gameplay emphasized fun, brightness, colors, excitement, adventure. And now with Assassin's Creed Unity, things kind of go back to the old way. The old way we've been playing so many times before. Assassin's Creed 3, Assassin's Creed Revelation, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed, and all the other ones in between. And it's just, like I said, the cracks are starting to show here. But before I get to those cracks, let me talk about what I do like. The world of Paris, the city of Paris in this game is absolutely amazing. And I love it so much. It is definitely the high point of the game. Exploring and getting immersed in the streets of 18th century Paris is something I've always wanted in a game, and I love it, and I can't get enough of it. Granted, I also do like history, and it's cool to see these historical characters show up in the game. Of course, it's kind of glossed over and not really very important, and the story is pretty much, whatever. You know, the revolution takes a backseat, and that's okay. It did in Assassin's Creed 3. The revolution was more of a setting than an actual plot point, but when there's not really the main crux of the story, then, you know, what's there really to experience? Thankfully, the main character, Arno Dorian, is very likable, very cool. That being said, he is almost a carbon copy of Ezio. Ezio was cool. Unfortunately, there's nothing new here. He's a cocky, confident, cool, suave character, and that's fine. I enjoy playing as him. I enjoyed his time on screen. But if you're looking for something new and exciting, you're not getting it. And frankly, with the rest of the game, you're not getting that either. Co-op is pretty cool. I played that a little, and that's fun to run around a huge city with friends stabbing people. But other than that, you're dealing with the same old shit here. There's side quests that you're not going to really care about, although I will say that they did amp them up and make them a little bit better, a little less copy and paste. And thankfully, the game is varied enough to keep you interested, but I guess I'm just not feeling it anymore, guys. What really bothers me is the controls. Of course, the climbing is faster and smoother than ever. It animates beautifully. It looks brand new. The climb down button is incredible, allowing you to, instead of just jumping and grabbing a ledge and jumping off, you hold a button down and he automatically scales down a building or object. And it's really cool because he does little spins and it's animated beautifully, and it's really cool when the camera keeps up with it. But the rest of the games, the walking around, the blending in, the combat, the sneaking, everything is pretty much the same. Of course, there's a sneak button now and a cover system which is absolutely useless and borderline broken. All these little snippets of things of different systems that they've added in this huge advanced game world, it's just starting to not work anymore. The game mechanics and formula have been pretty much the same for a long time with just new shit heaped on top of it, and it just feels like a mess when you play it. So many times you're fighting with the environment, fighting with the character, fighting with the controls, and fighting with the frame rate. You've probably heard the game is getting a lot of flack for being a buggy mess, and a lot of times it is. I've fallen through the ground quite a bit. The frame rate, pretty bad on PS4, a little better on Xbox One. Yes, I played both. And the combat for you guys is going to be a little hit or miss because it's not just an automatic win button now. It's not just like the experience yourself doing cool shit. Now it's actually hard and you have to pay attention. You can die in like 2 hits, and a lot of times it doesn't feel very fair, but at the same time, I'm glad they made it harder. But sometimes it just feels cheap, and sometimes it just feels weird. It doesn't feel right. But thankfully, it's as violent as ever, and using a gun is cool, and using the phantom blade to shoot your blade out at people is really cool. Guys, I sound like I'm being really hard on this game, but if I did give it a number, I wouldn't give it under a 6 or anything like that. But I'm just being maybe extra hard on it because I'm a big fan of the series, and my expectations weren't met, and I'm starting to really get tired of it. The present day story stuff is absolutely bullshit this time around. They scrapped the awesome stuff from AC4 Black Flag, but thankfully Arno and Elise and their story is charming. It's very simple. It's very by the numbers, but it's cool. It's enjoyable. it's accessible, it's light, and I can't get over how awesome it is to explore and run around Paris and kill people. That is just awesome. And thankfully, the game does do a couple of very unique set pieces that you're not going to expect that I really like that I'm not going to spoil. I'd like to see a lot more of those in the next game because you know it's coming next year. So again, really, I am being very hard on this game, but I do want to stress to you guys that I do like it. I do sort of enjoy my time with it just because it is an Assassin's Creed game. As a fan, and if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, I say give it a shot. It's worth checking out, and you know what? You decide. But if you're not a fan of Assassin's Creed, though, I can't recommend this as a jumping in point. Definitely not. I mean it. I'm serious. And now, guys, just a second before I get to the part where I say, comment below and let's talk about it. I have a Patreon page. I know. Listen, okay, some of you may not like Patreon, and that's fine. I get it. I get your concerns. That's fine. You don't have to donate. I'm going to keep making videos forever. But some of you guys have asked about a Patreon page, and so I have one now. And if you want to contribute and help grow the show and make it better and make me review more games for you guys, you can, and I can give you some cool shit along the way. If you do even just take a look at it and take a glance at the page, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative of you guys. I really am. Even just watching the videos and just being nice to me. Thank you so much. But anyway, with Assassin's Creed Unity, let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'm sure a lot of you guys have played it, and especially big fans of the series, I want to know what you think about it. I'm very in the middle. I love it and I hate it. I get really frustrated and then sometimes I'm in love with it. So it's really hard to review it, and this is one of the perfect examples of why I love the fact that I don't give review scores. Sorry. But let me know anything you want in the comments below about Assassin's Creed. Ask me any questions. Let's all talk about it. And as always, guys, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.